Girls like you, the reason why I run this check up. Girls like you, the reason why I pour this drink up. Girls like you, girls like you.
So what's good, Coco Crew? I'm back with another video, and you guys have been asking for this video for the longest. It is my soft glam makeup tutorial. You guys know your girl be putting on her face or whatnot, and you guys have been asking me for a tutorial for the longest. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give the girls what they want. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Aminac. I do beauty videos, fashion videos, vlogs, basically a little bit of everything on this channel. So if you're interested in seeing any of that, you know what you need to do: subscribe. Okay, the vibe over here is unmatched, okay? Like I said, this is going to be my soft glam makeup tutorial, very detailed. All of the products that I'm using today are from Sephora, and I would actually like to thank Sephora for sponsoring this video. I love Sephora. Sephora literally carries all of my holy grail makeup products. This whole face is Sephora, like, period. I literally remember 14-year-old me saving up my lunch money that my dad used to give me, and at the end of the week going to buy a freaking foundation or a concealer, you guys. Like, I would starve for makeup. That's how much I love Sephora, and I especially love their Beauty Insider program. And if you're not a member of Sephora's Beauty Insider program, what are you doing? Like, you're missing out. Literally, you're missing out. They have 3 different tiers: Insiders, VIB members, and Rouge members. And with the Beauty Insider program, you're literally earning points with every dollar you spend, you guys. Every single dollar that you spend. And I definitely do recommend you guys signing up. I love the birthday gifts. I love the seasonal savings that they offer to the Beauty Insider members. So if you've been shopping Sephora through guest checkout, or you don't want to give the cashiers your email, baby, you're missing out. You're missing out. I definitely do recommend you guys signing up. Like I said, everything in this tutorial is from Sephora, so that means that you can purchase them at Sephora or at Sephora.com. So yeah, once again, thank you so much, Sephora, for sponsoring this video. Enough of me chatting or whatnot. Let's just get right into the makeup tutorial, because I had you guys waiting long enough. So before I start putting on any makeup, I'm going to be using the Laneige lip sleeping mask. And I do that just because I like how it like makes my lips feel. I know that this is lip sleeping mask, but I literally use this 24/7. Like, I really do like it, and I love it when I'm doing my makeup because of the fact that if I want to do a matte lip, I can just wipe this off, but my lips will still feel moisturized and nourished. You feel me? So now we're gonna get to the actual makeup. My favorite primer is the Milk Hydro Grip primer, and you guys, they made the Milk Hydro Grip in a jumbo. The regular size already lasts me a really long time, so I know this jumbo is gonna last me forever, basically. Like, I love this primer so much. I do not do my makeup without this primer. I definitely do see the difference when I don't use this primer. My makeup moves around, all of that. So definitely do recommend the Milk Hydro Grip. I don't use too much. I use enough to coat my face, basically, you know? Also, I did do my skincare before. I don't have an actual skincare routine. That's why I didn't really go into the products that I used. But I just washed and moisturized my face. So, yeah. Definitely treat your skin underneath the makeup, though, okay? Because that's going to also help with a flawless application. Everything, okay? I don't know about you guys, but I am a brows before face type of girl. I know some people do face and then eyes, whatever, but I'm going to do my brows first. And I do like to use a brow gel whenever I do my brows. My favorite brow gel is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. As you guys can see, I really do be using this. Words on the packaging is gone, everything. I love this brow gel so much. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can probably use any brow gel as long as it's holding up the hairs, but I just personally like this one because some brow gels get white and flaky on me, and I don't like that. It holds my brows in place, but it doesn't like plaster them, you know, because I don't like the feeling of a stiff brow. Also, it allows me to have more of a natural looking brow, especially since I don't fill in my brows no more. As I'm done this show, I'm going to carve out my brows. I know some people don't like to do that. I'm sorry. I love me a nice clean brow. So I'm going to be using my all-time fave concealer. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Chocolat. Chocolat is like one shade lighter than me, and it just looks natural. It doesn't look like, okay, you have concealer underneath your brows. You know what I'm saying? I've actually stopped filling in my brows, so I only just carve them out because I do have my brows microbladed, so don't need to fill them in like that. But right now I'm just gonna blend everything into my eyelids, and the brush that I'm using is the Sephora Collection Pro Concealer number 71 brush. I personally like brushes that have like a tapered top, especially for like complexion or whatnot. I like to use a brush that's kind of tapered and like a little dense right here. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but I personally like a brush like this. It just helps blend out my makeup way better. I also have the foundation brush that's just like this. Definitely do recommend if you guys are looking for like brushes or something like that. It is so easy and it literally helps blend out your makeup perfectly. You see? So I'm actually going to carve out the top part of my brows just because I don't like how they look. I haven't gotten my brows in like 2 months. I feel like they look a little bit too thick, and I really don't like a thick brow. So I'm just going to carve it out just a bit, nothing too crazy. But I typically don't. I would just carve where my eyelid is at, and that's it. But I don't like how the brows is looking right now, so I'm going to do the top part too. Brows are done, you guys. They literally take like a good 2 minutes to do, such and I don't have to fill them in no more. You guys may be asking, so why are you carving it out? For me personally, I'm not a big fan of the messy brow trend when it comes to makeup, so that's why I do carve out my brows, just so they could look a little bit more cleaned up. But yeah, this is really basically all I do for the brows. And since I have lashes on, I'm going to do my eyelids as well. Typically when I don't have my lash extensions on, I would just, you know, do my whole face and my eyes together. But I have lash extensions on, so I'm going to have to do eyes and then face, which I actually do prefer to do, because once I'm done with the eyes, my face will be done in like 5 minutes, I promise you. So yeah, so we're gonna go back in with that same NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer, and we're just gonna put it all over our eyelids. And I definitely do recommend doing one eyelid at a time. Like, don't put the concealer on this side, this and third, because you're gonna have to keep one eye open. And say your eye is open and your lashes curl into your eyelids, it's a lot. Just do one eye at a time. It probably just takes a good 30 seconds more to do. So yeah, anybody wondering how they do lids with lash extensions, just hold them down and blend away. Literally. So now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna take my holy grail, my all-time, I think all-time, because I always go back to this, my all-time favorite setting powder, the Laura Mercier Translucent Medium Deep. I've been using this setting powder for like a good 6 years now. Since I started doing makeup, I love this setting powder so much. I just take it on the brush and just pat it onto the lid, like so. Don't get me wrong, I do try out like different, you know, setting powders, but for some reason, I always just go back to her. I always go back to her. You know, so right now I'm currently loving another setting powder, which you guys will see later on. But my holy grail, the one that I always go back to, is the Laura Mercier. Like, make sure that you're pressing that powder into your lids, because you don't want your lids to crease up. I honestly hate when my lids start creasing up. Like, I'm like, are you serious? Like, my whole face could be like, you know, flawless, you know? But once my lids start creasing up, I'm like, I need to take this makeup off, because I do not like when my lids crease up. Just make sure to pat all of that powder in. Not really baking, but like just pressing the powder into your lids. Now that I'm done with that, I'm actually going to be taking the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade number 4 Deep. This is literally my favorite bronzer. I literally hit pan on it, and this is the jumbo size too, you guys. The pan, it does not look like it'll even bronze my skin. Like, it looks lighter than my skin, but when I tell you this bronzer just does it, it just does it for me. So for all my darker skin complexion girls, I highly recommend you guys trying this out. Like, I love this. Like, as you guys can see, I hit pan, and I need to get another one. Yeah, no, this is just fire. I love this. I freaking love it. Whenever I do eyeshadow, I'm not really doing eyeshadow. I'm just, you know, putting it all over the lids. Like, it's no technique to it, so. So now I'm actually going to be using some eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes eyeshadow palette. I personally just love the tones in this palette. That's why I really do use it. But I'm not gonna lie, I probably use 3 shades out of this whole palette, and it's this brown one right here. I use this brown, this black, and one of these nudes. I just can't remember. I really do like the palette. Definitely do recommend you guys trying it out. And I just put it into my crease, just so it can create like some definition within my crease. You know, something calm, but nothing too crazy. And I'm using that brown shade. So yeah, I just take it and make sure like it's in the crease, just so it can give more cut crease vibes, with like a soft glam type of cut crease thing, you know? And don't worry, if you don't know how to do eyeshadow, you're in the right spot, because I don't know how to do eyeshadow at all. But literally, I use 3 eyeshadows and they give me the perfect like eyeshadow look all the time. So just do what I'm doing, okay? Because I promise you, I don't know how to do eyeshadow, but I like how like my eyes look whenever I do this. So, and then I'm gonna go back with the brush that I used to, you know, put the bronzer on, and just go over that so it can take away the harshness of it, but I still have that depth from the brown in the Makeup by Mario palette. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna go in with this little nude right here. I like it. Sometimes I do mix it in with this nude right here. And I just put that right here, you know? Boom. And then, like I said, we're gonna go back with that bronzer brush and just make sure everything is like seamless. And this is my eyeshadow look, literally 3 shades. Like I said, this is very beginner friendly. This is my eyes complete. I'm just gonna go in with a spoolie to brush out my lashes just because they got messed up from me, you know, touching them and stuff like that. So now it's time for the face. And for my face, usually I just go in with foundation, concealer, and stuff like that. Since I have some hyperpigmentation because of a really bad acne flare-up, I need to color correct. And I don't know what made me try to color correct with this. I think it was because I ran out of my like usual color corrector, but I had this in my beauty drawer. I was like, oh, I could color correct with this. I'm gonna be using the Fenty Beauty Stunner Lip Paint in the shade Uncensored. I know it's a lip gloss, but it works really, really good, and a little goes a long way. So I probably might do like 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's gonna cancel out everything right there and right here. Okay. And that's it. And this is just going to help color correct all of my dark spots. If you guys have been watching me recently, you guys know I've been suffering with acne, and I did get some hyperpigmentation from it. So yeah, it is what it is. And I don't like to let it dry down because I kind of like it to move around a little bit. So I'm just going to take a brush and blend it in. As you guys can see, a little does go a long way. Do not OD because you're going to be tight when you have a full red face. I totally forgot the important parts, and that's underneath my under eye. I literally forgot that. I don't know how, but literally do not OD because, like I said, a little goes a long way. And just blend those out as well, just to cancel the dark circles that I have underneath my eyes. And yeah, now that we're all color corrected, we're gonna go in with foundation. And the foundation I've been loving recently is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Zambi, baby. That much, 4 pumps onto the back of my hand, and I just work it all over my face. As you guys can see, look at it. Y'all see that coverage? Yeah, that girl. Y'all see that coverage? And I'm using the Sephora number 47 brush. I love a brush that's shaped like this just because it's so much easier when applying complexion products. I love this foundation so much because it makes your skin look like skin. Like, it doesn't look like you have makeup on. If you ever see me with makeup on in person, it's like, oh my gosh, her skin is so flawless. It's on the third. The skin is not flawless. The foundation though, fire. Like, people always say this, your skin is so flawless, it's on the third. I'm like, baby, if only you knew. If only you knew. Don't get me wrong, my skin, I feel like I don't have that much texture. That's why people assume that, because it is easy to cover up hyperpigmentation, but my skin doesn't have that much texture. So that's why I think people just allude to the fact, oh my gosh, your skin is flawless, baby. No, it's the foundation. The foundation be working overtime. I promise you, this foundation is everything. And I recently got put onto it, even though this is nothing new. This has been in like the beauty community forever. Oh, and I actually take a little bit and put it on my forehead. I don't like to put too much on my forehead because I feel like that's when it starts to look like, okay, you got makeup on, you know. Even though this is like a soft glam look, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to give a natural beat vibe, but you know, I still wanted to give a natural tease. I don't want it to just look like, okay, she got a full face on, you know. I definitely love this foundation for that. So now that my foundation is on, I'm going to go back in with my NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer in the shade Chocolat, and I'm just going to conceal underneath my under eyes. This is not the brightening part yet. Also, when I'm concealing, I like to clean up my eyeshadow. That gives my eyes like a lifted look. One thing I will say is placement is important, especially to your facial structure. I know a lot of people are over the, you know, upside down triangle trend. I still do it because I like how my makeup looks with it. But I will say placement is really, really important, because right now I'm just applying my concealer, not my brightening concealer. The difference between the two is that my concealer, its main job is to conceal my dark circles, whereas my brightening concealer is typically like 2 to 3 shades lighter than me. I don't use as much, and its main job is to brighten, you know. So I do understand why some people don't do the upside down triangle, but I do use both placement techniques. And if you don't know what the other placement technique is, basically just applying a little concealer in the inner corner of your eyelids as well as the outer corners, just to give you that lifted look. But I have dark circles, so I have to you know, conceal, and I do the triangle method, if that makes sense. But I just wanted to go ahead and explain that, because I know some people are like, oh my god, am I supposed to do this? Everybody's saying this is too much concealer. Don't get me wrong, it may be too much concealer, especially if it's way lighter than your skin tone, or if you're still a beginner and you really don't know how to blend out your makeup properly. It may come off as too much concealer, but if you choose a concealer that's like 1 shade lighter than you and you know how to blend out your concealer, it's not going to give that vibe at all. This is how I have the flawless, you know, under eye. People always talk about my under eyes, and I'm like, are you serious? Thank you so much. That's my #1 tip. Learn the placement for your facial structure. Everyone's face is different. learn what works for you. And I also do put the concealer on my upper lip and my chin, just because I don't like to put my brightening concealer there because I feel like it is too bright. I use this concealer to really do, you know, the job of a concealer, and my brightening concealer really just goes underneath my under eyes. I don't put it anywhere else, but this is my concealer, you know, that's it, you feel me? So I'm gonna let this sit, and then we're gonna blend it out. And to blend it out, we're gonna be using the number 71 brush, that brush that we've been using to blend out all of our concealers. When blending, I like to blend my under eyes last, just because I need all the coverage, you know? I need all of the coverage. So like literally, I blend out the outer corners first, and then I touch the inner corners, but I like to blend out everything first and then go in and blend out the inner corners. And when I'm blending that in, I'm literally just pushing it into the skin. Like, I'm not even trying to move it around. I personally like to blend out the outer corners first because it gives you more control as to where the product is going. Whereas if you start to blend out this way and you're like, okay, still not blending out yet, you're like basically dragging the concealer from where you originally placed it at to another spot of your face, basically to like your cheekbones and stuff like that. And that makes your face just look wider, you know? So I just personally like to blend out the outer corners first, and I blend going upwards. So as you can see, my brush is staying where I placed it at. Like, I don't really want it to move anywhere, and if it moves anywhere, that's fine. I'm gonna go over it with my foundation brush, but for the most part, I like to keep everything where I placed it at, you know? So as you can see, it's blending out really good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Do not move that product all over your face. Just keep it where you placed it at, and it will look flawless. Look at this. Y'all see that? Period. Using a concealer that's closer to your skin tone is key, and adding onto it with lighter shades and stuff like that. You don't want to just go in from jump a lighter shade thinking that it's going to give you the bright under eye look. It's not. It's gonna just give you a very, very light face. I'm gonna use the foundation brush again just to clean it up, because like I said, I don't want it to drag all the way to my hairline. I just want it to lift the eye up a little bit, and that's exactly what it does. So we're gonna continue blending it out, and we're gonna blend inward. Now we're going closer to the inner corners and stuff like that. And I still don't touch underneath the under eye yet. I'm actually going to blend out the sides of my nose first, just because like I said, I want all the coverage. I need all the coverage. So I blend out the sides of my nose. I'm going to blend upwards into the under eye. And when I'm blending upwards so it won't drag the concealer down. You get what I'm saying? So blend it upwards and push it into your skin, but lightly push it. Don't like, you know, press it underneath the eye, just so everything could be blended out. And look, you see? And this is not even all the way done. Like, if I wanted to go for a natural vibe, I'll leave it at that, but I'm not. So I'm not leaving it at that. Now that my under eyes blend out, I'm gonna go in with my brightening concealers. As you guys can see, my nose is giving contoured, but I didn't even contour my nose. I don't contour my nose. I just put my concealer onto the sides of my nose, and it just gives that contour look. For me personally, whenever I contour my nose, it's really, really harsh, and I don't like that look. So I'm going to be going in with the Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer, and this is in the shade Peanut Butter. Y'all, Huda. Miss Huda does her thing when it comes to an under eye. One thing Huda Beauty is going to do is give you a fire under eye. The applicator of the brush, because it's like a lip gloss applicator, and it makes your job so much easier. But I do use a little bit, like I said, and I apply a little bit on the outer corner. This is when I use the new placement technique that everyone is doing, when I use my brightening concealer, just so I can have that lifted look. So I'm going to let this dry down, and in the meanwhile, I'm just going to contour my face, kind of, sort of, not really. And for contour, I like to use the Bobbi Brown foundation stick in the shade Cool Espresso. I don't put it directly into my skin because I don't like a harsh contour look. So I just use a damp beauty blender, and I use like the butt of it, and then I go ahead and apply it to my skin like that. And then I'm gonna go with my foundation brush just to blend the two together, just so it can give a seamless look. So now it's time for me to blend out my concealer, and I like to use the same exact concealer brush that I've been using. So I'm gonna go in and just blend that out. And like I said, do not move the product around, just blend where you placed it at. You get what I'm saying? So just push it in, don't move it around, okay? Now my under eye is blended out and it's time to set. Like I said, one thing this Huda is going to do is give you a nice under eye. I've been loving the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder, and I've been using the shade Kanufa. You guys have been wondering how the UK baddies have been giving a nice bright under eye all the time. It's this. This is the powder. I place it right underneath my eyes and I just go ahead and set. And it's such a fine loose powder, which gives it like a seamless look. Oh my god, you guys are not understanding at these points. You don't understand. This is fire. This powder is fire. Like, I love this powder. Take your time when doing this. Do not rush this, because like I said, this is your under eyes that we're talking about. Like, you can rush everything else, but your under eyes must take time. Why are you in a rush? Do not rush nothing. Take your time. Set your under eye. I only use this setting powder for underneath my eyes, but for the rest of the face I use the Old Faithful Laura Mercier, just because it's not as bright and it's easier to blend. Bright look all over the face, only just at the under eye. It doesn't really make sense to put this all over your face, you know? So I just like to apply this where I applied concealer, and yeah. So to wipe off the powder, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Finish Complexion Powder in the shade number 3, and I'm just going to wipe that off. Literally wipe it off. It not only wipes away the powder, it also leaves some color underneath your eyes, so it's not like you just completely blank. If you're not new here, you guys would know that I really don't care if my like makeup looks rough during this phase. I know the face is not giving flawless right now, it's getting very much patchy, but once I'm done, you guys gonna be like, oh wow, she did it. So now I'm going to powder up my whole face, and my favorite powder to use is Sephora Micro Smooth, and this is the shade Espresso, and I just use the Sephora number 50 brush, and I just put that all over the face. Like, I do not care. Literally, when I tell you, it just makes your makeup look so like complete. Like, it makes your makeup look flawless. Like, oh my god, I love this. I love this powder so much. This powder is that girl. And it's nothing new. It's nothing new. The OG's been new about this, but like, if you're just starting out makeup, I promise you, you're gonna love this powder, just to you know, powder up your face. This just gives everything to me. I just love it. I feel like it's the brush and powder combo. Like, I've used this powder with other brushes, and I don't know, it still works. Don't get me wrong, it still works, but like, this brush and powder combo, amazing. I love, definitely the Sephora Micro Smooth. You have to cop it, period. Boom. So now we're gonna go in with bronzer. I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. You guys already know this is my fave, and I'm going to be using the Sephora Collection number 80 brush just to bronze up my face. I like to be generous with this one. I like to be real generous with my bronzer. Like, I feel like bronzer just completes the look. It just does it for me every single time. Like, every single time. Like, every single time. I like to look warm every single day of the year. Like, it's not like a specific time of the year I want to look warm, you know? Then I'm gonna go back in and just bronze up my nose a bit. So now I'm going to blush up my face, and the blush I'm going to be using is the NARS Sin Blush. It's like a mauve pink, real cute, and I'm going to be using my Sephora X Coach Collection brush. Jayla got this for me for my birthday, and I love it. Don't worry, I know it looks crazy, but we're gonna go back in with that foundation powder just to tone it down. I always do this. I purposely go in with the blush just because I don't know, I know that I can always tone it down. So now it's time for me to set my face, and I actually have to tell you guys what I'm doing before I set my face, because it's a fast process. So for setting spray, I'm going back to an OG, the original, the Urban Decay All Nighter. And something new that I've been adding to my like setting routine is using a poof to blend everything in, like press everything into the skin. You guys, when I tell you this is a game changer, this is a game changer. Thank me later. I use both the Laura Mercier poof and the One Size poof. As you guys can see, they're both dirty. Well, this one is cleaner. I recently just got this one, but this one, I need to wash it. As it's drying, fan it a little bit. I know it looks crazy, and then you pat. As you guys can see, it literally just blended and made everything go into place. Like, this combo, like setting spray and poof combo, undefeated. It is the best thing ever. It literally just blends your makeup into place. That's why I don't worry if like the makeup is looking crazy while I'm, you know, wiping off the powder, because I'm like, okay, the setting spray is going to do its job regardless. I want the under eye to be a little bit more seamless. I just flip it on the underside and press it in. I'm basically almost done with my face. I'm going to add some mascara to my bottom lashes. I'm going to be using the OG mascara. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. So now it is time for lips, and you guys, my lip combo is undefeated. I love my lip combo so much. First things first, I like to wipe off any extra makeup. My favorite lip liner to use is a Sephora collection Rouge Gel Lip Liner in the shade Molasses. This is my all-time favorite lip liner. Like I've tried looking for other lip liners to use, and it's just like I always go back to this one. Like this, oh my god, this just gives every single time. It does it for me every single time. So I'm just gonna outline it. Sometimes I overline, sometimes I don't. It is what it is. It depends on my mood. So now that the lip liner is on, I'm gonna take my middle or whatever finger and just blend it in to the actual lip. Does it for me every single time. Now I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in the shade Undressed. It's like the perfect pale nude for me, and it's just amazing. Don't use too much. Just apply a little bit in the middle. This is the completed look, you guys. This is my detailed soft glam look. This is the look that I do whenever I want to pop out. Honestly, to me, it's so simple. I can do this in like 15 minutes. I know I was recording, so it did take a little while or whatnot. But yeah, this is the makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Everything that I featured in today's video is available at Sephora or Sephora.com. And I would also like to thank Sephora once again for sponsoring this video. I love you, Joliden, so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.